Hey, today we are talking about Simcraft, or Simulation Craft, which is a tool that you can use in World of Warcraft to optimize your character. So I specifically saved the vault of my Warlock to show off some Simcraft shenanigans. And hopefully I can teach you a little bit so that you can use it for your vault as well. So first of all, the basics. You need the add-on Simulation Craft, which you can get from CurseForge like this. Generally, the add-on is very simple to use. You just type in SimC and enter, and then you get this window. This window contains all of the information about your current character. So basically my Warlock, my talents, what is in my Great Vault and everything like that. To make sure that Simcraft is actually using my Great Vault, I advise you to open your Great Vault like this and then type SimC. So you type in SimC and then you copy it with Control C and then you take that to your browser. So once you're in your browser, you type in raidbots.com, which brings you to this site. For most of your needs, Top Gear is the relevant tab to pick. So we will do that. You can already see that my Warlock is already loaded because I already ran the sims so that you don't have to wait for my queue. But in general, you would copy your details into this window. Load from SimC add-on. So now my Warlock with all of its details is logged in here. So first of all, the question you want to ask is, what do you want to know? Do you want to know how you perform in single target? Do you want to know how you perform in M+? Which Great Vault options are best for your content that you want to play? So for me, I mostly play M+, so I have a very specific sim to do, but let me show you the options first. Alright, the first thing I always do is max out my crests. This does not make any sense if you want to find the best upgrade for this week, but for me, it's about the long term. So I want to make sure that I consider all of the crests that I get in the future, and I pick the item that is the best upgrade long term. So basically, I always max out my crests. Currently, we don't need to select an item because we are considering Great Vault options, but you could find an item here. And next up, we look at the gear that is actually in our Great Vault. So we could select all Great Vault items, but this doesn't make any sense for me since there are some options that I won't consider. For example, I never pick this weapon because I have a crafted weapon. The options that I actually consider are shoulders, legs, and trinket. So shoulders and legs are in tier slots, and I'm actually wearing tier slot right now. So picking this item would obviously be a DPS downgrade because I would lose my set bonus. So what we want to do first is convert this into a catalyst item, and then we see that it is now a 272 catalyst item, which is not an upgrade yet. But we can now upgrade it to 289, like this, and then we deselect the option of the previous 272 tier item. So now this is my Great Vault choice. It would be a tier set item that I catalyze and that I upgrade fully to 289. And the same thing is done with the legs. So we convert it to catalyst item, we create the 289 version of it, and then we deselect the 272 item. So these are very simple problems to solve. For my trinket, it's a bit different because I always want to know if it is an upgrade right now, which I probably can already guess it is not because it would be like a 10 item level downgrade. And furthermore, I don't want to use two active trinkets, which is another consideration that Simcraft is not doing for me. So what I do now is I select this item first, and then I pick the higher upgraded version so that I'm on par with the trinket that I'm actually wearing. So this is the sim I would use for this character. Keep in mind that I already selected the correct specialization and the correct talents in game, so I copied it with SimC, but you can always change things like this down here. Like you can pick a different talent set if you want to make sure that you can consider like single target or something like that. The in-game loadout that I'm currently running is the new M+. So basically this is like an AOE focused build, AOE focused talent build. And for my specific use case, I'm doing a very specific sim. So what I want to do is I do patchwork, 6 bosses for 40 seconds, and I don't use bloodlust. Why do I do that? Well, back in my days when I raided in a very high level in my guild, it was common to sim patchwork for bosses 40 seconds with no bloodlust to simulate an M+ pull, because the dungeon slice was very inaccurate and something we wouldn't use to gauge our character power in M+. Obviously, a single target sim is quite easy. You do patchwork, one boss, 5 minutes, and with bloodlust, obviously. So this is the setup that you would use for single target. But for me personally, I'm really interested in how I would perform in an AoE scenario. So I sim patchwork, 6 bosses, 40 seconds. So why 6 bosses? Well, this changed a bit since this season is quite big in the pull count. So we do like very large pulls. Often there are 12, 13, 15 mobs. So the average pull size is increased compared to previous seasons. So I'm not using 4, instead I'm using like 6 bosses for this scenario. And why do we deselect Bloodlust? Well, so obviously you don't have Bloodlust for every M+ pull, so it's smart to like deselect the Bloodlust, and we only consider the non-Bloodlust but fully buffed version, like with full CDs, with pot and everything, so that we know what we can do in a like typical M+ pull. All right, before we actually run the sim, we scroll back up and we control that we did everything correctly. So we imported my Warlock, that is correct. I have Forset enabled. We can see that these icons are glowing a bit, so Forset is enabled. We have maxed out our crest. We selected the maximum upgraded tier set piece on both of the slots, and we selected both trinkets, one not upgraded and one fully upgraded. And then we don't consider enchants and gems for now because they are quite expensive, and this is an alt, so I'm a bit stingy with giving out so much money to random people. So unless enchants and gems get quite a bit cheaper, I'm not using them currently. So talents is obviously correct. I checked this in game, so I'm not worrying about this. And then the sim settings are patchwork, 6 bosses, 40 seconds. The weekly build is the preferred version. If you are in a like bleeding edge guild, you might consider using the nightly build because there are some changes sometimes that are important for bleeding edge progression, but for the general population, I would advise to use weekly. So we deselected Bloodlust because we are simming in a plus pull, and then we find our top gear. All right, so as you can see, I'm in queue, and this would take like quite a while. You can actually buy Raidbots Premium or like sign up for it, which is like a monthly fee. It's about like €3, I think. And then you can skip the queue and your iterations, so the stuff you can select, which you might have noticed that is actually quite limited if you are running on a free account, is increased. So if you have the biggest package, then you can select like 16 million iterations, which is like you can basically select your entire gear and change a bunch of talents, and you can still run the sim, which is not possible with the free version. But small tip, if you want to save a bit of money, it's fine to do multiple sims in consecutive order to find out what is best for you. So we obviously don't wait for the queue right now. I already ran the sims, so I can show the results right now. So this is the sim for my raid loadout. So this talent tree is actually for single target, and this is like a single target patchwork 5-minute sim. And it says that the pants are the best upgrade. I always do this. I always do multiple sims for multiple scenarios for my characters, since I want to like make the optimal choice in case I start raiding tomorrow maybe, and then I want to have like the upgrade as well. So yeah, multiple scenarios are important. So the pants are actually a 700 DPS upgrade, which is good to know. And then we go into the AoE sim. So this is patchwork, 6 bosses, 40 seconds, and this is my M+ build. So now we can see that the sim actually tells me to use both active trinkets, which is obviously something I don't want to do. In general, I would advise to not use 2 active trinkets. It's like a bit awkward to play, and well, you can make it work in M+, obviously, because you can use one trinket for one pull, and then you have the internal cooldown running for this trinket for like, I think it's 30 seconds, and then the pull dies, and you go into the next pull with this trinket. But I don't like to use that. I prefer to use like one passive and then one active trinket. In case I don't want to use both active trinkets, the best upgrade right now is the pants as well, which is like a 3000 DPS upgrade. So this is pretty good. So already know that in AoE, the pants, in AoE and single target, basically the pants are the best upgrade. And now we go to Affliction, which is a spec that I sometimes play in specific and plus dungeons, namely Algitha Academy. I sometimes play it because it's very strong in the first pull. And then we can see that, again, both active trinkets would be the optimal solution. But if we look at the version that is not considering both active trinkets, we still get the best upgrade with the pants. And this is like a significant difference to like the shoulders, for example, which is like almost double the DPS. So yeah, the pants are currently the preferred choice for Demo and Athli. And now we have like a single target sim, which is something I might play in a raid, like a Destro single target or 2 target cleave. And then it says to me that the best upgrade is actually the pants again, and we would swap out our active trinket for Gaze of the Awe-Seer, which is like quite low item level, but in Destro it seems to be still a bit better. So we can see in Destro the pants alone is only a 700 DPS upgrade, but considering we can change the trinkets, we get a bit of extra DPS out of it. But in general, all of the sims tell me the same thing, and it's that the pants are the biggest upgrade. Obviously, we can like change around trinkets once we respec to a different specialization, and then the pants would still be like the preferred upgrade. All right. So anything else you want to know about Simcraft? I'm not sure I did. I think I showed everything that is important. Well, you can share your report with copy to clipboard. And for example, if you make a mistake in your sim, um, so this is the sim that we previously started that is now run through the queue and is now ready to look at. If you made a mistake in your sim, you can do run sim again, and then it should keep all of your options, and then you can change the mistake, whatever you made. For example, let's, I don't know, let's try out with the second talent build, and then we can run the sim again. Obviously, we won't wait for this because the queue is quite long currently. But yeah, in case you made a mistake and you realize it in the report, you can just run sim again, and it should have all of your options in the memory basically. So you can just change your mistake and then run the sim again. All right, we will pick the pants. I was quite curious if I should pick Velgos Finals there, but the data is not lying, so it's not the best upgrade for me right now. It would be probably if we have Gales of the Awe-Seer in a very high version, like a heroic or even mythic Gaze of the Awe-Seer, then this trinket would probably be the best option combined with Gaze of the Awe-Seer in, for example, Destro. But for my current setup, and in case that I mostly play Demo and I mostly play M+, this is currently not the best pick for me, so I will pick the pants actually. All right, so I hope you found this video helpful, and if so, it would be nice if you like and subscribe. See you on the next one. Bye bye.